that since coming into power by the bullet of Captain Ibrahim Traore, they have lost 40% more territory to the terrorists that were ravaging people.
Welcome back to the channel. So let's forego all the formalities. But this is bothering me. This Kenyan senator speak on the Senate floor against Abraham Traore. And these are the kind of politicians that causes us to lose some of our most beloved president, like President Lumumba, who was assassinated, Sankara, and Kagame. These guys was taken out by their best friends. Some of them are also taken out by some of their own party members. These are the people who, not this politician, to be specific, the Kenyan senator on the Senate floor, propagating and repeating and spewing the same hate for Abraham Traore that the United Nations does, the Western countries does, and all the Western medias. Listen to this man pushing the agenda of the United Nations and the European Union, propagating against Abraham Traore. Take a listen to this and then you will discuss it a little further. Boom.
On a more serious note, there is something else, Senator Ledama, you need to check. You know, I followed, you said something that got my attention about Captain Ibrahim Traore. I used to also fall for his hype, like many people fall on TikTok. I saw another journalist another time saying, oh, did you see the way he was cheered when he arrived for the inauguration of the Ghanaian new president, Mr. Speaker? And I was excited like most people, until I did some further research about what is exactly going on in Burkina Faso. And I want to challenge Senator Ledama to do the same, perhaps counter-check Senator Ledama, the things that you read online and the reality on ground, as Kenyans say. And I was shocked actually to learn that despite all this hype and the things that we read about, the things that they are doing, you know, first of all, I am not a fan of coups. I am a firm believer in democracy. I strongly believe that if there were lesser coups in Africa and more transitions by the ballot, Africa will advance better than it is doing through coups and by the power of the bullet. For that reason, I am not a big fan of that particular gentleman. But more importantly, the reason why the military, led by him, took over Burkina Faso is that they insisted that there were challenges with security in their country. And there were terrorists ravaging around, killing people, and all these kind of challenges. You need to check Senator Ledama, because from the research that I did, is that actually since they took over power, and you know wars are very costly. You can see what is happening to the gentleman in Ukraine. See how he's being embarrassed and the things that he's being taught. Because wars are extremely expensive. If you don't have a way through which you will fund your war, then you better not start it. So the unfortunate situation in that country, and we need to check, unfortunately they are not part of the Great Lakes, but this is just to make the point that we need to understand our continent better, is that since coming into power by the bullet of Captain Ibrahim Traore, they have lost 40% more territory to the terrorists that were ravaging people. So it's easy to read all these things online, TikTok, and people say, oh, certain things are happening. But do your research further. And that's the tragedy with Africa. That is part of what this report is telling us, that as parliamentarians, Mr. Speaker, in African nations, we know very little about our continent.
So there you have it. This man actually stands on the Senate floor and said that Abraham Traore is a fake, he's a liar, he's causing his people to lose their lives because, according to him, they lose 40% of the ground since he take over, and he's a coup and he believes in democracy. These are the same people who stood by and watched when the Western countries took out Gaddafi. Where was democracy when they assassinated Gaddafi in Libya? And now Libya is so now Libya is basically in ruins because they haven't cut themselves since 2011 when they assassinated Gaddafi. And for sure that he doesn't know what he's talking about. Before Abraham Traore took power, Yes, they did lose 40% of the countries, but not him, the president before. Since he took power, he take back almost 30% to 35% of the law of the grounds already regained. He opened up 1,500 new schools has been reopened and new schools and putting thousands of kids back to school. He's not saying this. He's enhanced his citizens' lives by building factories. He's not saying that. He's up. He has upgraded his army to the level that he cannot be. They cannot just go in and attack him anymore. And the alliance with the Mali and the Niger, he took back two gold mines from the imperialists and the multinational groups. And then this money is 100% belongs to the government, the gold mine, and he built his own gold refinery. He's now exporting goods from his country. This is where the money is coming from when he's asking about war costs. When President Ruto, his president, who he's backing, he's a puppet of the West, and likewise himself, because they have multiple riots in Kenya. They cut salaries of doctors and nurses. They are trying to tax people into oblivion. And this is the democracy he's talking about. When how many times we have Western countries install make countries go into civil war and put in place their own leaders to protect their own self-interest. What about that? They are deliberately destabilizing African countries. They are funding. We know that the USID, the US government is funding these groups and mercenaries to make sure these countries stay destabilized. We have proof, we have evidence that the United Nations, who just released a report stating that Abraham Churi and the Mali government and the Niger government is the one who's causing the terror attacks in their countries. That's what the UN did. And the reason why they're saying this because since they got put out of the country, there's a rise in terror attack, which is clearly lies propagated by the powers to be to make sure to put Abraham Chori in a light because they cannot afford for what Abraham Chori to be doing to be replicated. So these are how and these are what Abraham Chori speak of when they say unpatriotic people. They rather side with the Western countries than side with their own. And he's a, a politician who is in a position of power to people to listen to him because he's a senator in the Kenyan government. Even though most the Kenyan government, the Kenyan citizens do not like the President Ruto's rule because they are trying to, they are trying to impeach him and tell him to resign already. We know his government is a puppet government and they are run and controlled by the West. And this is what he's propagating. These are the people we should make sure never get back into power. And these are the ones who have to be feared the most because they're the ones who are trying to get close. And he's talking about Avion Chori bringing a weapon on him at all times. He's a military man. Imagine this 19 attempts on his life. How many of them have ever even got one attempt on their lives? This man is being sought after by every crook, every mercenary, every terror group, every government in the West are trying to take this man out, even including some of his own brothers and sisters, his own farmer military brothers and sisters who turn against him because what they cannot get to launder or steal any more funds and enrich themselves anymore. These are the people he is protecting and defending, this senator. And this is the thing that get me so angry. You see, whenever you're loved by people globally, you're always hated by politicians. And this is the perfect example. Anytime you see the Western governments, I'm not going to call them government name, whichever one of them cozy up to any African leader and they are friends, know that there's puppetry going on because they don't befriend president that's for their people and think about their people and put policies and laws in place for the people. Anyone that does things like that, like what Abraham Chori does, like Sankara did, like Patrice Lumumba did, Kagame did, those presidents, whenever time you do anything for the people, you are looked upon as a dictator. You're like how they paint the picture of Muammar Gaddafi and take him out without right in front of our eyes. And it's years later we realize it was all pre-planned. And they do the same thing to today. And what they're doing, they're using African presidents to perpetrate this, because they're using the ECOWAS group to attack Abraham Chori. So anyway, I digress, because the more I talk about this, the more angry I'm getting, because of I can't believe an African senator is saying things like this about one of our most beloved president and hero currently. And not only currently, that's my lead. That's one of my hero alongside Marcus Garvey. Those are my two hero from ever since I know and understand what a hero is, because everybody's turn around the term hero to easily. No, a hero have certain specific qualities about them. Not just anyone who do one good thing and then all of a sudden is a hero. No, 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 no. Abraham Chor is a hero because he put himself on the line for his people. He does everything for his people. He goes against the Western way of democracy. He put himself on the line. When you put yourself at risk, where you're in the line of fire at all times, that's one of the main characteristics of being a hero. When you're putting laws in place and things in place to help your people, that's what considers you a hero. When your influence make other people want to get better, want to better their lives, because his citizens back him 100%. They're behind him 100%. So when you just your presence influence people to want to do good and be better, that's what a hero is. Not these so-called heroes where people just put in hero stamp on it. Like, my personal opinion, Mandela is no hero. He's a great man, he's a great president, but he's no hero because he did nothing for South Africans while he was in power. Nothing tangible he did. Not one law put in place. Like, nothing was put in place for his fellow citizens, because all the power, all the economical wealth stays in the same hands of who it was, and they even gotten richer under his tenure. So he's not a hero in my book. He's a great man, but not a hero. So anyway, disagree, agree. Let me know what you think about this in the comment section. As always, I don't know. Like, comment, share, subscribe, tell a friend to tell a friend. Don't know that works. Boom.